S.L. Narayanan, Group Chief Financial Officer for the Sun Group, joins us on the show today from Chennai. Let's bring up the stock price as well for you and show you first how that is currently panning out in trade. Mr. Narayanan, thanks very much for joining in. Sun TV holding up by about 1% or so, and the other group stocks as well would just come up for you on your screens. Mr. Narayanan, first let's talk about the company budgeting about 180 to 200 crore rupees as capital expenditure for the current financial year, which will mostly be spent on programming operations, upgrading equipment. Is any fundraising required for the same? If you could give us some more details on the capex plans.
No, I don't think there's any need for any fundraising. As you know, for several years this company has been debt-free with very high levels of cash. And since the operating cash flows have been exceptionally strong in the last few years, we've in fact increased our dividend payout ratios. We used to distribute about 26% of our profits 5 years ago, which was about 62 crores. And we have taken that ratio almost up to 63% of disposable profits. And we paid out almost 435 crores in FY12. So there is no need for raising any funds in the foreseeable future.
Morning, Mr. Narayanan. Nikunj also joining in from the Mumbai studio. Now, the government has delayed digitization until October. Cable digitization will impact your company and the real change will be reflected only in phase 2 and phase 3. So the fact that government has delayed the digitization to October, how will this change life for Sun TV?
Okay, let me answer that question in phases. You just mentioned the delay in the date to October. Yeah, it is disappointing, but if I look the silver lining here, at least it gives us enough time for all participants in this whole industry to be better prepared and do an execution which is flawless. Yeah, it is disappointing, but I think the good news is nobody is saying digitization is a bad thing. And there's almost a broad level consensus that this is a good thing for the broadcaster and all the intermediaries all the way up to the customer. Yeah, Chennai is in fact the first phase, and Chennai we are expecting almost 1.2 million homes that are currently served by cable analog will switch to digital. So I think that upside, in fact on an earlier occasion also I've shared this with your channel, it should be anywhere close to 40 crores annualized for a year. And of course the next phase is middle of next year. Hopefully that date shouldn't get deferred, because with the learnings from the first phase implementation, I hope that the phase 2 gets implemented without any hitch at all. So there I think the upsides are going to be much larger, because Hyderabad, Bangalore, Vizag, Coimbatore, Madurai, these are the large cities that will go digital. So I think the way we see it is, given the levels of underreporting in the industry, it is reasonable to predict at least a tripling to quadrupling of our pay channel revenues over the next 3 to 4 financial years.
Mr. Narayanan, you've lost market share in the third quarter, and quite notably in the Telugu market, Tamil entertainment channel market. Your share has dropped to 61% from the earlier 63%, and also seen some market erosion in your movie channels as well. How do you see the market share for the channel panning out in these two markets in particular?
No, I think rating points market share is something that has to be seen over a continuum. Week to week, month to month, there could be some aberrations. Now, the most recent phenomenon that we are all grappling with is, the impact of IPL in certain months. And then we've also had some impact on account of an extremely difficult power situation, which led to some slippages in our gross rating points. But I think if you look at Sun over the last 10 years, at a time when number of channels have more than quadrupled, our share of the viewership has actually gone up from somewhere around 50% to almost about mid-60%, which only goes to show the power of the content and the kind of following that this channel has. So I wouldn't be unduly perturbed by week-to-week shifts in TRP rating points. They're important, but I think you have to see this in a slightly larger context. That said, in some of our other markets like Kerala, with the introduction of certain new channels, our relative positioning is in fact improved. In fact, on a relative basis, our market share is actually improved. So I would say that given the kind of positioning that we have, the powerful library that we hold, and the kind of followership that has been there for years, I think we're reasonably well positioned to ride the wave for at least the foreseeable future.
Mr. Narayanan, we understand that the Tamil Nadu government is planning to revive its own cable network. Do you see a political fallout of that in your local cable business?
No, I think, end of the day, we are a business organization and we've been in negotiation. And the good news is we are almost on the verge of, closure. Any moment now we'll have a contract. So I wouldn't like to comment anything more than that.
Mr. Narayanan, media reports have been indicating the SpiceJet plans to raise funds from PE firms like Blackstone, Bain Capital. By when can we expect an announcement on the same, and what kind of funds are we looking at?
I'm completely surprised by the kind of names that you're quoting, because I'm hearing them for the first time myself. I think definitely there is a lot of interest, because India will become one of the world's largest aviation markets. Right now, we are going through a tough phase in terms of predictions for a sub 6% GDP growth. But even at these growth rates, definitely there will be, increase in the demand for air travel. A lot of Indians will start using air travel as a preferred choice of transportation in the coming years. And therefore, there must be a lot of interest coming out of that belief. But at the moment, it becomes very difficult to comment either yes or no, because there's a lot of speculation in the market, and it's inappropriate for me to comment on market rumors. So I wouldn't like to add anything more than that.
Mr. Narayanan, you have recently got the government approval for directly importing ATF, which is aviation turbine for fuel. What kind of cost saving are you looking at because of this initiative, and will the logistics support direct import of ATF?
Yeah, this ATF import is something that we looked at very eagerly some time back, and the math was indeed compelling. But suddenly in the last few weeks, there's been a rapid movement downward of the crude prices. I think it was steady, holding at about $115, $116 a barrel. I'm talking about the Brent prices. And just a couple of days back, I saw that it has gone below $90. So, it will be very, very important to make sure that whatever price at which we lock in, does not result in any kind of, losses because of downward revision of these prices. See, the equation is still compelling because of the high rates of taxes, but we need to do it with a lot of care now because of extreme volatility in the spot market for crude.
Mr. Narayanan, the DGFT had questioned airline companies on the rise in ticket prices, and reports indicated that companies were looking at cutting prices by 5 to 20%. What kind of price cut are you looking at, and by when will this be applicable?
Yeah, I must answer this question with a lot of care, because with greatest respect to the regulators, I must point out that till recently the entire Indian aviation industry was bleeding. Our own losses for the last financial year was almost about 600 crores. And some of the other listed players like Jet and Kingfisher have also posted record losses. In fact, for the last 5 consecutive quarters, beginning with March 2011 till March 2012, SpiceJet has been reporting losses, and the lowest loss number was about 39 crores in December 2011, and the highest number was almost 240 crores in September 2011. So this is not an industry that is making any supernormal profits. We've had extremely high levels of competitive intensity, and in some cases even irrational pricing, and a lot of surplus capacity chasing existing markets. And obviously, this couldn't carry on for a long time, and there's been some shakeout, as a result of which some capacities have got rationalized. And then, faced with mounting losses, the industry as a whole has also become a lot more disciplined in terms of pricing. So I would submit with greatest respect to the regulator that this sector needs to become financially viable. We need a strong, vibrant air transportation industry in this country, and we need to make sure that the sector is seen as attractive enough by potential investors from abroad, or potential airline companies that may want to invest in India, because I don't think any other place in the world offers this kind of an opportunity for investors. I would submit that the government of India should do whatever it can to ensure that this industry is seen as an attractive bet in the coming years.
So are you considering a cut in ticket prices? If yes, what will be the quantum of the cut?
No, I think that is something which is best left to the market forces, because you must note that the April, May, June months are traditionally very strong months for air travel, because everybody's on holiday, and that's what happens. And when the lean season starts, you'll automatically see some kind of let up in the pricing. And come the festival months of October, November, December, when there's also a lot of international tourist traffic, fares do go up, and our loads also go up. So it's something which is best determined by market forces. I don't think there's anything orchestrated here. And end of the day, everybody in this industry is responsible, and we would do whatever that's fair and equitable in the interest of all stakeholders.
Crude has witnessed a very sharp decline, Mr. Narayanan, in the last few days. How is it impacting your operating costs as well as your margins in the near term?
Yeah, this is something which doesn't immediately show up in our ATF prices at the ground level, because we've also had extremely high rates of depreciation in the INR. So though crude prices have fallen by 20%, we've also seen a runaway increase in the forex conversion rates for the dollar to INR. And on top of that, we also have a tax structure which doesn't help in easy conversion of these gains into the final prices at the tankering point. So that's one of the things that we think is unique to India, because of a very complex structure of taxes. So though there has been a decrease in the crude prices, it hasn't resulted in ATF prices going down at the ground level. I think it's probably gone down by about 5 or 6%, whereas international crude prices have fallen by almost 20%. But of course, definitely it helps. And if there's further rationalization of taxes at the state levels, that it's declared as a good of national importance, there could be a lot of benefits flowing to the airline companies, which will inevitably result in the pricing of tickets, and that will help in growth of demand and the growth of the entire industry.